So last night I caught the just released on Stars John Wick Chapter 4. Now, would I be disappointed if I judged my assessment based on what people were saying about this film? One of the best action movies. So hyped. Oh, hey, it's winning over the box office. This was the worst John Wick movie yet, and I haven't even been high on the franchise. I think it started off looking kind of weak. No beating around the bush, the production values of that first John Wick are trash. It does not look like a movie that got released to theaters on a wide release. It looks straight to video. Thank goodness, aesthetically, a lot of that is adjusted in John Wick Chapter 2, where it looks like a legitimate movie, as the film-going public would call it. However, I don't think we've ever really done anything with the story or explored the character. Hell, we haven't even explored the world of everybody's an assassin, because the most interesting aspect of the entire film franchise is the Continental, which gets exploded at the beginning of this film. Yeah, after a brief little horsey chase in the desert. John Wick's talking to the guy who had to get his finger cut off, wants to get a ring back. There's always some kind of weird MacGuffin thing with John Wick having to learn some rules, of which he should be well versed, seeing as how he's Baba Yaga. He's like the greatest assassin of all time. He's famous among all the assassins. Everybody's so upset. What, you took John Wick's car and you killed his dog? Next movie. Everybody just wants to kill John Wick. They don't care. The whole lesson of this is the one guy you don't piss off only mattered in one movie. So, we're really just doing Chapter 3 again. He's excommunicado. He's on the run from every assassin. This movie pisses me off for so many different reasons. It's almost 3 hours long, and a lot of it is tedious, monotonous. We've seen this 5,000 times in the same movie. Leg takedown, point blank shot to the head. Repeatedly. Now, Keanu Reeves, getting kind of up there in age. He's not moving super crazy brisk. These takedowns don't exactly look like MMA quality. This movie definitely could have used some editing. Not just in the fact that it was 2 hours 50 minutes, I think, with credits. It actually could have had some editing to spice up and do something to differentiate each of the kills in this movie, instead of just wide shot, shoot this guy, I'm wrapping him up, I'm shooting him, now I'm going to shoot him. That guy, maybe I didn't get him in the head, so I'm going to shoot him over here. Now I got a different gun. I'm shooting people in the head while they're laying on the ground. Just so much of that crap. And you can see so much of what's going to happen before it does. This Asian girl at the Continental in Osaka. Who is she? Probably the boss of the Osaka Continental's daughter. That's her character. I have a daughter, and she works here. That's really all the exploration you get in this movie. We have a new guy. Nobody. He's a tracker. Whoa, are you a tracker? Has a dog. Okay. Does he need this money for something? Why is a $20 million bounty on John's head not quite enough, but the 26, hey, we're getting there? I don't understand how that's appealing. Like, adding this guy to the mix. John Wick saved him because he had his dog shot earlier. Thank God we didn't get a flashback explaining why John Wick would save the dog. Thank goodness. It's always one thing or another with this world explanation. Hey, if you get the mark over here, well, he has your name. There's a seal. If you go back to... I'm sick of Ian McShane explaining shit to John Wick. I'm just so sick of it. We completely waste Lawrence Fishburne. You wouldn't even know in this movie that he's king of the homeless assassins. He's just, I'm connected, I'm the king. Hey, John Wick, I got you a new suit. This suit bullshit. I know that in a previous movie we went and did this thing where it's hey, we got a Kevlar suit, alright, where? Kevlar doesn't save you from falling out of a 4-story window onto a van. Getting hit by 12 dozen cars. There's a lot of backdoor pilot antics in this movie. Hey, remember the Warriors? Remember when the gal said, hey, boppers, and then they played a cover of a Supreme song, Nowhere to Run To, Baby? We're going to do that in this movie. Then, maybe the producers will see this and they'll be like, hey, this guy should do a Warriors reboot. Hey, remember Hotline Miami? How about we do a bird's eye shot of a carnage scene here, and it'll be really redundant, and guys will catch fire, which I don't know why bullets that shoot a flare that in post-production provide crappy looking CG fire. I don't know why that's appealing. But yeah, it's trying to remind you of something else. Hey, we have a final showdown. Why don't we have some music from The Good, Bad, the Ugly? Because there's going to be like, Drock, boom, yeah. That'll remind people of things they like, and then they'll like my movie if we include that. At least the previous John Wick movies were not too busy trying to remind you of other stuff you like. This movie also turns into Highlander. We've got the Kurgans in this movie. Christ, Donnie Yen is a blind dude doing kung fu and shit. Donnie Yen was in Highlander Endgame, which if you tell me about a movie called Endgame, that's the movie that comes to mind first. And his name is Kane. The villain in Highlander 3's name is Kane. They meet in a church and have a little talk. Almost they could have said it's holy ground that we can't actually duel here. I mean, we almost have more of a character arc for Donnie Yen's Kane than we do about anybody here. Hey, I have a daughter, I don't want her killed. She's evidently a homeless busker violinist. It's not like he's seeing her at like some fancy Sydney Opera House or nothing. She's just always playing the streets. That's all we know. Frankly, I don't really care. And we're setting up some kind of sequel with that crap. Now look, to get into heavy spoilers here. It was a long-ass time until we got to an action sequence that didn't get me to fall asleep. I thought some of the car stuff was good. I'm like, finally, the car... Look, action is expensive. The car stuff looks pretty expensive. I know there's a good amount of CGI here. You know what I also know? There's a good amount of CGI in that latest Indiana Jones. Yeah, Dial of Destiny. But they didn't do the same thing for 3 hours. They mix it up. They go to a few different environments. There's some kind of puzzle to solve. People have downtime and talk. We converse. We build character. I don't think we do that in this movie. And we have action that goes on so long, you're just like, can we get this over with? That's really what is going through your mind when you're watching action in John Wick Chapter 4. So, Kane, yeah, let's stick with his name. He's forced to have to duel John Wick because this Marquis guy, Pennywise, he's like, I don't even know if I could call this a French accent. It's bad. I have a Napoleon complex, although I don't know how he's so damn tall. I don't know. He comes across looking 6'5" in this movie. But he wants John Wick dead. Like I said, no one learns their damn lesson in these movies. It doesn't work out for you to go after John Wick. But, oh, hey, I can get him to kill somebody. Hey, Donnie Yen, you want your violinist homeless daughter to stay homeless and not die? Okay, well, you better go kill John Wick for us. There's another guy chasing John Wick throughout most of the movie. He takes almost as much punishment as John Wick. I swear he could have got shot in the head like 10 times, and it didn't even ring a bell. Oh, but John Wick, in order to go through all this, I don't know why he couldn't have just done this duel when he met this guy the first time. Hey, okay, Pennywise, let's have this out right here. I want out. I don't want to go back in. I told you I was done. Yeah. Like, that's... There has to be a record here for money paid base per line, because I'm telling you, Keanu Reeves is running away with this. He says more in one cutscene in Cyberpunk 2077 than he does in this 3-hour monstrosity. And that is weird. There's hardly any real story. We killed the concierge of the New York Continental, which I guess we're going to rebuild because the way this movie ended up. I am getting to the spoilers here. Donnie Yen, okay, Kane and John Wick actually try in the duel, but Pennywise is like, aha, I want the final blow here. And then Ian McShane's like, you pompous, ignorant asshole. He didn't shoot. And so dueling pistols now shot in the head by John Wick, pretty close range. And, Bob's your uncle. But John Wick seems to bleed out, and he has a funeral of which not many people show up. We could have gotten Halle Berry. We had Luther from the Warriors previously in this franchise. How come he couldn't have shown up to drive home, hey, we're making the Warriors? But yeah, it's just Morpheus and Ian McShane and the dog. That I'm assuming it's must be the dog he picked up at the end of the first movie. Which I was beginning to wonder if something happened to the dog because I didn't see him the whole movie. But yeah, they know, hey, maybe he survived. Now look, I'm saying if the guy didn't lose his head and we see it happen, anybody can come back at any point in these movies that made enough dough. They're looking at John Wick 5. Let's have some kind of offshoot, the ballerina. We could probably crank out a couple of different spin-offs here. Will the public be hungry for it without Keanu Reeves on those spin-offs? I would say unlikely. I think Keanu is one of those movie stars who has enough goodwill built up for him that even when projects don't work out, there's something in the pipeline that does. I don't think that John Wick as a series is good enough to resonate with people. Maybe the shooting of the dog. Oh, they shot his dog and now it is on. Maybe that was enough because, hey man, if Mobster shot my dog, I'd be all over him, man. Just like John Wick really showed. Now what do we have? We have weird rules that seem to just pop up whenever Ian McShane wants them to. And if you do this, but if you go over here and you headed there and you put your arm on the thing like in Kung Fu and you get the marking on the side and the chick also has them and now you're related and now you can duel them. Christ, at one point, is it Scott Adkins in a fat suit? I don't know why. Like a weird comedic relief moment in a rather dry movie. And he's falling on... Him and John Wick can fall from anything. But they survive, and there has to be a shooting in the middle of a club because all these damn John Wick movies have some kind of club going with crappy club music, shooting, and people seem to be not giving a shit because they're feeling the vibe the whole damn time. There are other places to have fights. Christ, I've seen some good fights in movies in bathrooms. Mission Impossible did it. Why can't you guys do it? Jesus. There was a halfway decent fight in Terminator 3 in a bathroom. Not every fight has to be in a club. Like, this movie, it doesn't disappoint me because I expected this crap. And all of the message people, right? All of the drinker cultists, this is one of the movies they got behind this year simply because it's not woke. John Wick is, well, he's not quite, he's like half white, but white male type guy, right? And it's not a lot of girls kicking butt. He doesn't get his ass chewed out by some woman who says send a woman to do a woman's job, but you send a man, and this is what none of that happens. Just because it's not woke. Oh, well, that Phoebe Waller-Bridge, she said she was attractive, she's pompous, all that in the trailer, so I guess that Indiana Jones movie's woke. We have to trash that. Although it is far more stimulating than this, which I'm not sure if I fell asleep or not during the Hotline Miami scene. I might had. I was really checking out because it was like, how many times are guys going to kind of get wrestled to the ground and shot? And okay, so we changed the view once and we have a long sustained shot of this. I don't really care. I give John Wick Chapter 4 2 out of 4 stars.